Okay, so originally I was let's scoot over here. In the last video I introduced I didn't really get too much into any of the introduction because I'm just starting to work on that. But I was talking about Mother and her sprite, and I was considering her being nude, and because let me get into that in this video the best I can. I don't know how to approach the subject. I want to get it like out of the way that this is not gonna be a H game, right? A hentai game. It's not gonna be one of those. It's not gonna be dirty work. However, for it just wouldn't feel right. I don't think if that aspect of everything wasn't explored, because like one just I can't explain too much about the game because I'll just give it away and I don't want to do that. But like Fear and Hunger, for example, there's a lot of nudity. And I mean, you literally target and attack penises. And it works. It works for the game because of what the game is. And in this it kind of feels like I'm holding myself like back artistically and in terms of storytelling by not approaching something that I've always approached in like more gruesome, more like Southern Gothic works of art, regardless of what the medium is, right? Regardless of whether or not it's like prose or poetry or like comics or drawing or like whatever it is, even music, that kind of stuff. I've always explored that. I've always had it be very, you know, skin. And I think that I need to approach that. So I need to be open to allowing that in my game. It it just makes it so like I there's always a concern that people aren't going to take your work seriously because of nudity, especially when it's hand drawn. I mean, hell, the first time that I approached that subject in art was in I don't know, fifth grade, sixth grade. I don't know if it was fifth or sixth grade, and I was writing a Resident Evil fan fiction. They took it from me because it explored nudity and sexuality, but that's just something that I've always been interested in artistically, and I think like just be real about it. Like this is cute, and it still kind of has like the vibe of someone who you don't trust, but this is just so much more real, isn't it? It's so much more impactful. I think nudity is a beautiful thing, and I think that it artistically is striking because it's something that we can't approach. We just can't approach that in life. You know what I mean? It's immediately like sexualized or which isn't. I mean, I guess that's an aspect of this too, but like I don't know how. I don't. That's not the right way of saying it. It's just taboo. It's very taboo still for as long as human beings have been around. It's still very taboo, and I need to be able to explore that gruesome, that kind of very very real, very human, and very animal, very organic stuff here. I have to be able to do that artistically. Like the scene that I have that you're gonna see, not in this video, but probably in the next one after I've finished it, after I finish the second this area. Which, by the way, I needed to do something here to like add on to this area because it was like empty, and I was gonna like kind of just scoot the house over and then just move all the events and everything over, and it would be center. But I feel like this having like this like improperly written, which I'm pretty sure is improperly written Chinese, that says home, with the intent of being able to use Google Lens on it. I think that that is an interesting way of like just having like the name of like the building that you're in. So I'll do that primarily in buildings like this where like the background doesn't exist really, outside of the building, so that there's an emphasis on the building and everything. So just having it be completely black, I could do that, and then it just kind of like it just adds an extra flair to it. And it feels good. I also got rid of the TV Well, I didn't get rid of the TV portion, of course, but I did get rid of the little pop up, so it just feels a little bit more real. But the scene that I'm working on here, I guess while I'm here, might as well just keep working. Is it's necessary for it to be the whole thing's traumatic and the whole thing's grotesque. And my concern at first is like, how are people going to react to you're playing as this little child, right? Like this like 6 year old, maybe even younger, little tiny little child, right? How are the people going to react if there's like a nudity aspect, like you walk up to your mom, she's, but the thing is, it has, I mean, first of all, like you already have environmental deaths where you drown and explode into flames. You know, like that's already there. There's not really room in art, I think, to be apologetic. I think that like the biggest positive to art, like its most impactful effect is that it has the ability to explore serious topics and the real like dark side of life without like it's just a healthy way to explore that, and you have to be able to explore that. We can't not explore things like that. They're real, they happen. That's why Southern Gothic is the thing. Like those are real topics, man. Like the like horrible stuff, fucked up stuff. It's a part of life. Like, and you could censor that aspect of life. Certainly, you don't want to partake in it, but you know, a lot of us have partaken or been adjacent to the partaking of that from the victim side of things, from the, you know, having the drunk mom who doesn't love you and is just fucked up and like old and raggedy and angry and just fucking her clothes are torn and she's just naked, and it also gives me the ability to explore and that wasn't my experience. My mom's great, but I do know people who have had experiences like similar to that, and I have even lived with people who their moms were, you know, it was their house and they were fuck, they were very much of that type, man. I've come across some really wild people in my life, and so, you know, I've seen that like aspect of everything, and so like it's real, you know. And I think the game will still be interesting, and the subject matter will still be interesting without that as an aspect to it. But I feel like it'd be like a good 70% of what it should be. That other 30% is opened up by allowing myself to explore sexual themes like that, in a way that isn't, because like obviously this isn't meant to like turn you on, bro. Like this isn't smut. You know what I mean? It's, and especially when you see what happens, bro. But like, it's not. I think it matters. I think that I want. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to talk about this. Y'all are the people who have been like showing up lately. Y'all seem like the type of people who aren't exactly going to be offended. Did I get the right part of hair by that stuff? So that's good. I don't think anybody should be. You know, I mean, my art definitely isn't for children, but it is definitely for people that exist in the world and have trauma. Like this whole game is it's going to be exploring. Like I said, I'm not going to give away like big plot things. Like maybe at some point I'll like put out disclaimers, and then we could like do that, and then, you know, you can make that like choice on your own if you want to have potential spoilers. But I don't know. I don't know, man. People are grotesque sometimes, and I don't know if you could really explore the truth of people if you're not going to allow yourself to explore their skin because of like, you know, Western or Christian values. Even if you are going to explore like if I'm going to explore any kind of Christianity in this, which I might, because Taoism is a big part of this. So there is going to be a religious and like a spiritual and philosophical aspect to it. It's a big part of the game. So So maybe I will explore that. Maybe I will explore like the dark sides of organized religions and, you know, everything, all the trauma that comes along with that kind of stuff. Maybe I will. But if I can't like play with the extreme parts of the bad sides of life or even the neutral sides of life like nudity, then it's not worth my time to try and explore any aspect of it because all I'll give you is an invention. And that's not really what I'm trying to do here. That makes sense? Like yeah, the game's got to be fun and it's got to be interesting, but you know, it's art. This is an art piece for me. This is a passion project. It's a bucket list item I've had forever, you know, for like 2 decades now, since I was a teenager. So, just I guess this is just a long way of saying that I'm adding nudity to my game, and there will be sexual content at some parts of it, and some of it's gonna be pretty unforgiving. And but you know what? I can't give away too much, like I've said. But anyone who plays this and makes it to the end, if the thing that offends them is a titty, then they're more fucked up than anything that I make in the game. I'm just gonna say that, but I'm keep working on this fucking spam, bro. I'm gonna keep working on this cutscene, and then the next video I should be showing you up to that. I'll show you. I'll go ahead and give you the cutscene, and then I'll start showing you like I gotta integrate memories and freaks. The freaks I've explained it. I don't know if I did or not. I'm pretty sure I did. They're the human like people that are like got like baby parts coming out of them. Explore all that in the next scene, as well as figuring out the structure of everything. Because I like on like the first little portion, like the little intro bit when the first thing you touch and you're on like the beach and it's this big map with this like all these places to walk around. I think I'm gonna do stuff like that. Like I'm gonna keep it at that 1080p default space and like the 40 by 22 or whatever. I don't remember what it is tile wise, but I think I'm gonna keep it like that, and then like have it layered, you know, kind of taking the Dark Souls route, Dark Souls 1 route in terms of game design, and a little bit of inspiration from Dark Souls across the board, as opposed to something like Elden Ring. You know what I mean? Like not super open, not too linear, and we'll see. I think it's art wise. I think that's kind of how I want to approach it, and I want to you know, I want to do things I don't see very often and play very often. But Booty, I'm going to keep drawing this cutscene, and it'll be a good time. Be a gruesome time, but a good time. Okay, I'm on my way to press the button to leave, but it's on the. I got 3 screens. Okay, bye. Go make some tater tots. Go make some tater tots.